What's up, YouTube? Today, of course, we're going to be working on the old Buick 350. Now, the Buick 350 had a bit of a surprise still up its sleeve when we pulled the valve cover off and had some pretty interesting colors inside there, and realized that ultimately, if you can actually see down through the oil, I don't know how well you can see through there, but I have a feeling we have some oil pathways that aren't really doing what they're supposed to be doing. I'm really worried about the overall condition of the engine at this point. So the plan is that we're going to go ahead and finish deburring this, tear this completely down, and we're going to just have to clean the whole block. And I have a solution for that. So once we have it all tore down, oil pan's taken off, the pickup is pulled out, this is all off, everything is as bare as possible, we're going to go ahead and stick it inside this 55 gallon drum. Now, that being said, I'm not 100% confident it's going to fit in there, but if we cut it right about here before it necks up, we should be all right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that, and then we're going to fill this with, which is all intents and purposes, it's fuel oil. It's or diesel fuel. It's basically the same thing. It's got dye in it. About a year ago, I switched over to propane furnace, so that is about a quarter of the way full. So we have this on hand. It's free. It's not quite, I don't think it's as quite efficient as kerosene, but once it's inside the 55 gallon drum, we're going to let it soak for a week. So that means the next couple episodes are going to be tearing down the frame and getting it ready for overhauling it. So without further ado, guys, we're just going to have to tear apart the engine. And I'm kind of disappointed in it, but a week from now, when we pull it out and we check everything out, hopefully we'll be able to throw everything back on, distributor on it, starter on it, and of course the exhaust manifolds, and start her up. That'd be wonderful. That'd be ideal. Oh, pardon me. Just had lunch. So there we go. That's the plan. Alright guys, so we'll take you off the tripod, see if I can't take this other valve cover off with one hand. Let's see what we have going on. Oh, she doesn't want to come off. Okay, hold on. There we go. It's full of oil. It's kind of dark. I don't have a light on this side. It's actually not nearly as bad as the other side. Definitely just lack of oil changes and possibly getting a little warm, but nothing too terrible if you can't see through there. Basically all it is just a puddle of just dirty oil. So we'll keep tearing at it. All right, guys. So now that we had this totally drained now, flipped over, I have reason to suspect that the head gaskets are going to be part of our problem. There was a little bit of coolant in the system. So, you know, the problem is, the worst thing you can do is let a car sit, let alone for 40 years. And ultimately, I think that's what we're going to be running into at this point. It's going to be a rebuild, a complete rebuild of the engine, because, yeah, it was all right, but everything's deteriorated so far that, I mean, it definitely needs new head gaskets. I am curious to see what we're going to encounter once we pop this off. But without further, discussion, we're just going to have to pull it off. Let's see if this is the right one. Oh, God, no, that's not close. So, I'm really toying at this point, see if we can't get a 455 in it. Because if this thing needs a full rebuild, I would rather find a running 455, which I know of where one is, and the person actually is always reaching out to me about his ideas of what's wrong with things, and he's always right. And he says he has got a good 455, which I think that is going to be what we're going to have to do, because he offered a phenomenal price for the engine. The only problem is shipping, which I don't know how you ship an engine. I don't know if it's bring it down to like Fastenal or something and see if they'll ship it. But I would imagine shipping an engine is not that cheap. So every time I turn around, there's something else wrong with this engine. And I do want to bring it back to life. I just also want to get this car back on the road. Sometime in my lifetime. And I think cutting this engine out of the equation could end up getting us it on the road way quicker. So, what do you guys think? I still want to rebuild this, put this in a hot rod, but I'm sure you guys would like to see this go together way quicker than however long it would take to rebuild this thing. Because even though everything's all said and done, this is still a hobby of mine. And I would really like Alright guys, here we go. Here we go. Oh. Oh my god. Yeah. There's definitely coolant sitting in the bottom of this engine. But look at this in the oil pickup. Guys, that is not good. So, in this situation, I would definitely recommend, if you're rebuilding this engine, do not reuse that oil pickup tube. Get a replacement. That is bad. Alright, I think the verdict is we're going. The verdict's in. I don't know. Yep, I think we're going to have to turn our attention away from the engine and to the frame, because I mean, this is what the oil pickup tube, even before the coolant got into the engine. Look at that, guys. And I mean, it is gritty. It is very gritty. It's almost an inch thick. Wow, what the heck? There are actually chunks of iron in this. Like there's a legitimate chunk of iron. I'm saying this engine's done. It needs a full rebuild, guys. Now I have to make sure I don't lose those. Give me a second. Alright guys, and on that disappointment, I'm gonna walk away from the engine right now. And we're gonna start working on the frame, because though I fully believe that this engine can be rebuilt from the ground up, I'm concerned why there's legitimate chunks of iron. Let's see if I can't find one. Hold on a second. Alright guys, I tried finding that piece of iron, but yeah, there's definitely chunks of the engine or something inside that oil pan. I don't see any spots that, I mean, yeah, there are shards everywhere. So guys, I'm gonna walk away from this engine. I don't know what I'm gonna do at this point. I think we're gonna have to reach out, and I think we're gonna have to get a new engine for it. As if it was a regular 350, rebuilding this thing would be pretty inexpensive, but as it's a very oddball engine. Oddball, as I've learned with the 1UZ, oddball means expensive. It means very expensive. So if we have a running 455 we can get our hands on, I think we've been pushed to that. So I don't quite know what exactly happened there, if it's the head gasket or if the I don't know, because when I pulled the intake manifold off, I didn't see any issues why it would have gotten through there. Yeah, I'm gonna chalk this up to complete disappointment. So what do you guys think? What's your thoughts? I'm gonna leave it on that. Yeah. So I'm gonna start working on the frame today, and we'll get you. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter what we do, we need to get the frame together. And I've talked to a guy out in, actually the gentleman who has the 67 Mustang that I did a video of, an interview with him. He is gonna sandblast the frame. I haven't talked to price yet, but I'm gonna dismantle the frame, bring it down down to bare components, and what I can sandblast myself, I'm gonna sandblast, and what the rest of it, the actual bulk of the frame, pardon me, the bulk of the frame I'm gonna bring down to him and have it sandblasted. So I believe he powder coats too, but I kind of want to get it sandblasted, do the upgrades because it's going to be boxed in, and then have it powder coated. But I don't know. I think I'm going to take a break because I am very, very utterly disappointed. Yeah, this thing was, I can't believe that, how much gunk was in the bottom of it. It's totally disappointing. Like, I don't know. Hold on a second. Yeah, I mean, guys, look at that. With that disappointment, guys, I'm gonna leave with just, no matter how bad a project gets, you just got to keep going. If you let it discourage you, then it'll just sit there forever and never get done. So we won't look at this too much longer as a failure or as a setback. We'll just look at it as it is what it is, and move forward. Just get the frame together and not focus on the bad. We'll figure something out. I don't want to LS swap this particular vehicle. If it was pretty much anything else, I would be all for it, but I absolutely do not want to just LS swap it. I want it to have a Buick engine. So like I said before, I know where I can get a 455. Just, you know, I don't know. I'm gonna just stop talking because, yeah, it's kind of discouraging, but yeah, like I said, we just got to keep moving. Otherwise, you won't get it done. So here we go, guys. I'm gonna try getting as many episodes up this week as possible. I'm gonna aim for maybe 5 this week, not including the one that I uploaded earlier. That was more just a thank you to all you guys. Which again, thank you all for subscribing. It means an absolute lot, and no. If you want to stick with the journey with me, and I do very much appreciate it, and hopefully we'll have something together before the spring, because I really want to get this thing driving. It may not be the prettiest thing in the world, but we'll have fun. Guys, have yourself a wonderful night, and stay warm. Take care.